I'm gonna give you a quick little story that I just watched this yesterday. I watched a whole fucking part 9 series of a guy on TikTok that never says that he's associated with David Dobrik, but calls the guy David the whole time. He's like, you guys make the reference. I'm not gonna say his name. And in this little short series, he basically talks about how him and this guy named David go to LA and want to become content creators. They were not the successful content creator that David Dobrik is now, obviously. But obviously he's now hiding too because he's being exposed to. But he was up and coming when Vine was a big thing, and they were, young and very ecstatic to become these content creators. Ambitious to become these content creators. So they moved to LA, and they start making more and more videos, and they're blowing up. They're making some noise, but they're not really famous. They're not getting paid for anything yet. So basically, in this whole story, I'm going to summarize it as quick as I can. He ends up getting invited by this weird guy to he's like, hey, you're invited to this party. All the greatest content creators are going to be going to this party. He basically tells one of his friends that are also in the content creation business, and he was in it a little bit longer than this guy, which is not David. Him and David are still, they're newbies, being invited to this party. So he tells his other friend that's also in content creation, but has been doing it for a lot longer, but isn't famous, but he's making money. He's doing a nice and okay living. So the guy, he shows him the letter. He's like, yo, I got invited to this party. It's like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm not going to tell you much. I can't say much. And you just have to believe me. Don't go to that fucking party. And he's like, why? He's like, and he started thinking like, this guy's jealous. So he ignores everything he says. Him and David go to the party. So how this party starts, as soon as you get in, they make you wear one of those weird fucking French masks, like the masquerade things. So everyone, and you have to pick a fake name. So he thought it was funny by calling, I think he called himself like something with an S, squishy or something, whatever the fuck. And they're basically telling him that there's going to be different rooms for different parts of the party. But every time to go into the next room, you're going to hear a bell ring. So in the first part of the party, he notices A-class celebrities that are behind the mask because he doesn't hide the whole face. And people that you grow up to watching on TV,
you can pick up.
You can pick up. So he knows some of these people, so he feels calm. Next room comes up now. This next room, I believe, is a little bit more. I think there was more drinking involved in this room. And drinking, what does it do? It kind of loosens you up. So, and then the third room when they go into now is like basically a fucking place that basically telling you, yo, you can fuck who you want to fuck because there's like love sofas, there's curtains where you can just cover the sofas. But he basically says everyone starts basically hooking up and having sex or performing oral sex on other people. He's not getting involved in it because, like, all right, this shit is weird. Like, what the fuck is going on? But he's like, you know what? Sex orgies, honestly, you hear about that shit all the time. Whatever. And I'm not going to, no one's forcing me. No one's doing anything to me. I'm just not going to engage. Next room comes up, and this is the part where it gets scary for him. Oh no, that's not where it gets scary. It's a place of a big buffet table. All you can eat. And what do you do usually after sex? You're hungry, right? So, but he says the way that people were eating the food was so weird because they would just like pick whatever they can and just smash into each other's faces in a way like that's very demonic and very just animalistic. Yeah, like very fucking weird. And then the next room, when they finally get into, you're supposed to be in a line, and you're getting closer and closer to the person holding like a special item, and he also asks you, like, are you Christian, Muslim, what are you? So basically, whatever you tell him, like, so if you're Christian, he gives you a Bible, and he puts it into a certain page, and then he marks it with this stone, and he basically tells you to denounce your God and say that you are your God and nothing else. This is where he gets freaked out and says, fuck this. I'm not doing that shit. That shit is over the top. So he tells David, he's like, David, bro, this is not okay. Like, I'm not, like, he's like, it's very weird that I was okay with the sex orgy shit, where I still wanted to kind of walk out there, but I didn't because no one was forcing me to do anything. But I'm not doing this. So David's like, no, don't worry. I'll do it first. Watch. It's just a party. They just want you to say it because it's part of the party thing. And he's like, that doesn't even make any sense. But David does it. He shows it. And he sees David go into the next room. So now it's his turn. The guy gives him the Bible because he says he's Christian. And then he tells him, all right, say the words. And he's like, he goes, come here. he tells the guy that gave him the Bible is like, I'm sorry, but this is a little like too much for me. Is it okay if I just pass and go to the next room? Like I just don't feel comfortable saying that. The guy says, okay, no problem. Take off your mask, walk around, and just go to the exit. Like, go ahead. So as he takes off his mask and he starts walking away, everyone starts screaming like a Game of Thrones chant, like kind of saying like some weird shit, saying like
shame,
like
that shame,
kind of like this reference of shame, but I forgot what it was. I don't want to butcher his words, but basically shaming him for not proceeding, right? But they're all doing it and all looking at him, so he feels weirded out. But whatever, he walks out. So he's outside of the mansion and he knows where he was in the mansion, so he goes around that area just to be curious because curiosity is killing him, just to see what's in that next room. He doesn't ever tell you, but he says it is the most horrific thing that you'll ever see a human being doing. So my theory is either they were engaging with minors, but he doesn't say that,
or some like ritualistic
shit.
That's crazy. That shit just gave me chills.
Yeah. So he doesn't ever really tell you, but that it was David Dobrik, but he does say his name is David. And at the end, basically, just to give you a summary, he ends up leaving. He goes on the limo drives him back, but they never knew that he watched. They never saw that this guy saw that room. So later that day, this is the last part, he confronts David the next morning to see if David's okay. He basically tells David, I saw what you did. Are you okay, bro? I'm just checking in. Like, I want to make sure you're okay. Because that shit was horrific. And David goes, what the fuck are you talking about? You fucking idiot. Don't ever fucking talk to me again. Like just like making him sound like the crazy one.
Yeah. After
that day, he basically starts getting spooks around his apartment. Notices is that his friend slept over his house. And basically this is the first sign that he knew that he was being fucking tracked. He would turn on his TV one day, and then the next day he'd come home, and his batteries were put in the wrong spot. Like, he couldn't turn on his TV because the negatives got put to the positives for the day. Thought it was coincidence. Fixed it the next day, same shit happened. Then his friend that was sleeping over still, because he had like a week sleepover, his friend would say, yo, bro, I really wish I had half and half. He's like, sorry, bro, I don't really drink coffee like that, so I don't have like half and half. I have whole milk. So no worries, bro. I'll have the whole milk in the morning. They go to sleep. He wakes up. His friend's making coffee, and then he goes, "Oh, you went out to go buy the half and half?" And his friend goes, "No, I thought you got up early to surprise me, but thank you." And then he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "I didn't go get half and half." And my friends told me he didn't go half and half. And then he notices he goes into his car now, and he always had to fight with his key because he had an old car. Yeah. He always had to fight with the key to get the car to like open. And then this time when he went to put his key, he was assuming that he had to fight with the door again. And it worked fine. And he notices the lock and it just looks refined, like clean. So he starts noticing these signs, and because he confronted David, he realized he was being followed. And they weren't trying to kill him. They were just telling him.
They were spooking him.
Talk, and you know that we have access to getting to you at any moment that we want. And then basically the last night he ever spent in LA was the 7 days after, and David went up to his apartment and says he just hands him a letter, and he goes, and in the letter it says, get the fuck out of here, they're gonna kill you. Don't say I didn't care. So they told David basically they were gonna kill his friend.
Yo, what?
Yeah, bro. So I believe that there is shit like this. And they said the only reason he's finally exposing it all over the media is because it's the time of a woke. Yo, Cat Williams said it best, bro. We were talking about this a couple months ago. This is the year people get exposed, bro. I believe cults like shit like this exist. Like, it's crazy, man. And it's from a marketing... Like, this sounds disgusting that I'm going to say this. From a marketing standpoint, he even mentions it in his video. It's intelligent. You get a couple of people in LA, because that's who wants to blow up, and you start grooming the next content creators, because you know they're going to be somebody someday. And what do? You get the dirtiest blackmail you can on them. Who did this? P. Diddy. You get the dirtiest blackmail on them. So when they do blow up, guess who they're affiliated with it no matter what? You. Because you control their soul. That's why I asked you that question.
Wild.
I don't even know how to respond because
I think you just woke me.
Did that?
Yo.
Pause.
You didn't just answer the question. You just I don't know what the fuck you did, bro. That was a lot, and I'm trying to process that.
Sweater.
Let's do a pause. Let's do a pause.
Yeah, pause. But do have some questions. I know. I definitely want to ask some questions on everything I just rambled about.
You remember all that shit?
Of course. This is my brain, bro. It's conspiracy theories 101. All right. So what do you think these cultures even exist, and what is first of all, what do you think the obsession is with kids, man? To me, it's just fucking disgusting. But you see it in a lot of these diabolical fucking like cults that they focus on these fucking, a lot of predators focus on these kids.
Who's first?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're a predator and it's, if you want someone to easily manipulate, I mean, children is how you do it.
I should have went first.
And how do you corrupt society? Wait, what?
I should have went first because that was my answer.
Well, you can add on to it. I'll give you some room to add on. But no, like it's very easy to manipulate children, and man, these people are predators. Just hearing a little bit, I mean, you spoke a lot actually, but just hearing just some of the details that are going on behind the scenes at these cult parties, I never heard how detailed that was until you just spoke. Honestly,
I'm not going to take all the credit.
But yeah.
I just showed you the video of where I got all that shit. Well, a majority of my rant.
Yes, you showed me the source. I saw the source, and I've never heard that type of detail before. And my God, I'll be honest though, I'm not surprised. Like there's a lot of demon agenda out there, and if people have money, you couple that with money, and all this power. I mean, and you have a crazy sex imagination. I mean, you're gonna try to do everything you can to fulfill it, and it's disgusting. Straight, absolute disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Get some holy water. No. Like
bathe in that shit.
Yeah,
let that shit burn you.
I guess to piggy that is children are very easy to mold in a way because they're still learning. They're not fully cognitive. So like if you can get them to believe in one way, if you
your mom left.
No, yeah, that's probably up second floor.
That scared the fuck out of me.
It's because right here.
It's David Dobrik.
Where they come through?
Oh, through the middle. Yeah.
So yeah, children are very easy to mold. They're not fully cognitive there. So like if you can grasp their attention, kids are also easy to they'll pick things up quick and they can learn pretty quick. So if you get the right child, unfortunately, you can mold them and have them do what you want. And if they grow up learning that specific mindset, then
just grooming another one.
It's like a pyramid scheme, but for fucking child predators.
Oh, bro, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's
fucking gross.
It's like you don't want to acknowledge that it's real, but when you see in the last year or so, especially the beginning of this year, there's a lot of exposure happening, and it's scary.
It's scary, man.
Because how do you know what's going on in your own backyard? Now you become skeptical.
Right, you become skeptical, and you how about if you use these type of allegations to destroy someone's reputation if it's not true? Automatically, these are the worst type of crimes you could commit. And so if people are throwing allegations out like that without any proof, that guy's reputation is done.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing it in real time with Andrew Tate. I don't know. With Andrew Tate, I don't know if he's done that. I don't believe he's done it. But, I mean, we'll have to see when everything comes out. But at the same time,
well, he doesn't deny the sex call center shit. Right?
No, he denies all of it. Yeah.
No, I thought he said that him and his brother, when they first started after his kickboxing career, they started a girls' sex chat thing where they basically hired a bunch of women, which I mean makes sense, and made them pretend like they were having, phone sex or email sex with these other people from outside of the country that paid for this kind of service.
Email sex.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not uncommon. Oh my bad. I mean,
e-sex.
E-sex.
What the fuck? Email.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely done that. He's admitted to that, but the claim is that he's a sex trafficker. That's a very different claim.
Correct.
Right?
there's a lot of, allegations are very scary because once you start throwing those out, like you said, it can destroy a whole person's, uh, career, his name, and someone like that definitely wants to uphold his name,
right? Let's just dive a little bit into this because this is very interesting, I think.
Yeah, of course.
So let's pretend 100% he's innocent. Mm-hmm. Let's just assume he's innocent, and that people are out to get him, right? Because he's the most searched man at the time. Right? And if they don't like what he's saying, they want to censor him. What's the best way to do that? If you own all these news organizations,
right? Horrible allegations on him.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to say is like...
He already got canceled. He's been canceled.
He's been canceled. But like, how about if this trend continues with other people?
Yeah.
How about, and you don't even... When someone's starting up like us, for example, the barrier to break us is going to be way lower than fucking sex crimes. Like,
correct.
They just got to say, you slap someone in the face, and then
people are going to big content creator to say, don't listen to these guys, right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like,
I get what you're saying. The magnitude he's at, there needs to be a bigger meteor to defame him.
Yeah.
Like to throw him out of the internet world. I get what you're saying.
They're trying their best.
Yeah.
And so to add on to what you're saying, in general though, with all of these allegations, innocent until proven guilty, it doesn't look good for them. I don't want to sound like I defend any of this. I don't, but that's what I'm most afraid of is if we just start believing people's words like that without any proof.
It starts a trend.
That's very scary to me.
I believe you're right. With certain people, right, you got to be careful on what allegations are being thrown their way. But this is why I pushed the I Hate Diddy agenda for a long time, because how many things are you going to evade, get away with, because money and power has always been a thing on your side? And just like you said, a lot of these small other people haven't spoken because there's something being blackmailed against them.
Right.
It's just being them being promised royalties. Like, you do this, I'll give you what you've been aiming for, because it's not far-fetched for me. I'm a billionaire already. You want you want to become what? A millionaire? Oh, even if I can't get you that, here's $1 million. You're declared a millionaire. Now go from there. And that's nothing to a billionaire. That's nothing to a person making millions of dollars a year because he's fucked over the industry so much.
That's a great point you make, because to what extent money and power play in a role in helping you get away with all of that? Because all you need is leverage on the other person to really get away with anything.
Yeah.
And that's the very unfortunate thing. There has to be a balance there. And I don't know if we have that balance in our current system right now, because it seems like money speaks louder than anything in our court system. And so you could pretty much do whatever you want and get away with it, because you just have more attorney power.
Lawsuits.
Yeah, there's so many
lawyers, and a small person's never going to win with no money against a rich fuck that can literally hire a whole law firm just to attack you.
But that's what's the scary part. It's like most people are the people that can't afford anything.
Which
like
is
that.
Why they always hear, and you'll always hear this saying until it changes, our fucking justice system is a joke. It's a complete joke.
Yeah.
Nowadays you can get sued for anything. Or you can, or if someone, God forbid, says something you don't like and you're rich enough and you have lawyers like right there, defamation. I'm going to sue you for everything you have because you defamed my name. And they can make everything high. They can hire the best lawyer team to make sure that everything that you were trying to get them for, hush money.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you hush money. I know your dad's sick. Here's hush money. You're not going to support Puka in his cause. Oh, you have student loans? No, not now. You don't. You still going to support Puka's cause? They don't just have to get you the correct way. They'll get you the corrupt way too. Because, bro, people, and most of us aren't that 1%. Most of us are broke people.
By the numbers, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if they offered me to rat on Mike right now for the right price, bro, I might rat on Mike, bro.
Yeah, right now. What you
I'll cut you a paycheck while you in prison, cuz. Like, yo, bro, I promise you when you come out, the Kona's paid for, son.
Dude,
But it's crazy. But that's the reality. Obviously, I would never rat out Mike, but for the right price, I might. But
wow, you just got to throw that in there.
Me out on, that's the thing. You got no fucking backing.
Hit me up. Nah, shit on Mike, bro.
Wow.
Who wants to know something?
Damn. What's the price? No.
Oh, you just want to know what he did in the fucking ocean? I'll tell you right now.
There's a video on that already.
Yeah.
That shit.
Which version you want to hear?
You know what's crazy? So the version history. I was editing that podcast. This was so random. I was editing that podcast, and I described it so funny. I want to send it to those people that create cartoons, and I want to see how they create that narrative that I.
That's a fun. There might be an AI tool that draws stuff.
I'll pay for that shit. That shit.
Yeah, that might be worth it. That'll be worth it. You said the story 15 times.
All the versions.
Yeah. You actually, that could be a clip.
Yeah.
You see how creative you could get with these clips? Like, you could do a clip of every time you told the story and just see all the overlap and what, the new details.
Because when he goes to do that and he's working on the first iteration, that one's going to change.
At that point, you just change it again.
You want me to tell another iteration?
But
let's going back to the topic, right? So, man, yeah, that's my whole P Diddy agenda, bro. And I'm telling you, man, he's got away with so much. There's literally he fucking closed a settlement within 24 hours. How legit does a settlement have to be, and how much does it have to scare you for you to settle for it? You know what I mean? He closed that shit in one day.
Yeah.
One day that broke the internet, and then one day he said, fuck this. I'm making sure this shit's never going to be told. And that was a civil lawsuit. So God knows how much money she got, and she deserved every penny for that guy being a piece of shit, bro. There's one more famous funny story I'll tell you about P. Diddy. So there was do you know the rapper Wale?
Wale?
Yeah, people call him Whale.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I heard a whale.
Listen.
I know Whale. Oh, yeah, Whale.
I know Whale. That's hilarious. I thought of him that way. No, I just
people
that's
really
hilarious.
do think of him like as a whale. When he first came out, I'm like, where the fuck is the Wale part coming out? This motherfucker's name is Whale or Wally. There's no way it's Wale. Where the fuck is the A come from? But whatever. So there's a story, and this guy repeats it. This is an upcoming artist that was repeating the story at the time. He was in the studio with Wale, and Wale was basically with these young cats and telling them like, "Yo, Cassie's gonna be coming to the studio. I'm making a song with her. Just know there's some rules that P. Diddy lays out. Can't be looking at her in the eye, can't be too close to her, and can't be talking to her alone in a room without other people present." So the guys were like, all right, that's super weird, but fuck it, whatever. And I don't know if you know who Cassie is. Very fucking beautiful girl, bro. Very, back in the day, like fucking sexy, my guy. So obviously, if I think that, Whale and these upcoming artists think the same thing, right? But Wale knew the rules. So God knows what his encounter was with P. Diddy before this. But so this is what happens. So they're in the studio. I guess the new coming artists are where the production is, right? You know, where all the music boards are.
Yeah.
And Wale is in the room with her where the microphones are. And then P. Diddy walks in, and the new guy is like, oh shit, it's Puff Daddy, and like a group of 6 fucking 5 security guards coming in. And I guess that Wale didn't think that he was too close to her, but he was, and he's the one that laid out the rules. And they take Wale out of the room, and they go to some other room. So one of the boys like, oh shit, is he in trouble? Like, was he too close? So out of curiosity, he goes to check out what he's doing. He can't exactly see them, so he goes upstairs to look down, or downstairs to look up, sorry. He looks downstairs to look up because he wants to look at it through the window just to see what they're fucking discussing. And he swears to God that he saw the security guard holding some dude by his ankles outside of the balcony and Puff Daddy yelling at the guy. And they said the only person they could have been holding outside of the balcony like that was Wale, because there's no way that guy that we're holding was another security guard. And by the looks of his dunks, they knew it was Wale. Wale's never came out and spoken about this, never accused Diddy of any of this, but this is legit what these guys reported on like a bunch of social media apps.
Saying, he's recording a song with her. Like, really?
Yeah, bro.
What?
And then there's like the incident with Kid Cudi's car blowing up. That's the time. You never heard of that? There's an incident where Kid Cudi's car blew up, and they said that Puff Daddy had something to do with it because he was jealous that Cassie was dating Kid Cudi for a little bit after they broke up. One of the first people she dated was Kid Cudi. You can search it up right now. Search up Kid Cudi, cars blows up, and they said that P. Diddy had something to do with it. And it was a warning to Kid Cudi to like stop fucking messing around with Cassie.
Okay, that first of all, that is insane.
Sociopath.
Dude, there's a lot coming out with P. Diddy, huh? Puff, is that his actual name? Puff Daddy?
He goes by a lot of aliases. It's P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. He's the guy that owned, what was that clothing company he owned?
Sean John.
Sean John. He's the owner of that.
Sean John. That sounds familiar.
It's like
old school back in the day, baggy ass
jumpsuits, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I've heard it in lyrics of songs.
Yeah,
you might have.
Yeah, that's probably where I hear it from.
Big Sean. Where's Sean John?
Yeah, it is Big Sean. There you go.
Yeah. But man, he's a fucking psychopath. Bro.
Yeah, in 2012.
Yeah.
I don't remember this happening at all, and I can find this article about the allegation that Diddy did it. This is on Reddit.
Oh. Live research.
Your tax situation is unique, but we can handle it.
Tax professional.
TurboTax, yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, this is the shit that you see people
That's crazy.
that have power and money that aren't fucking right in the head. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
So what do we do about it, Puga? What do we do? What's the...
We bring some allegations.
What should we do?
We stop fucking signing NDAs.
Oh my God, I love that. Actually, I hate NDAs for the most part. They're so lucrative, man. They're good in some contexts, like protecting some information.
Of course.
But some NDAs are so like for example, there's some companies like that you could work for that would make you sign an NDA where you cannot perform, you can't like work on an outside business at all.
You can't snake on them to their competitors, basically. They do it for that reason.
Yeah, but it goes more like they own all activities.
It may not even be relevant to
it's not relevant.
Job that you're in. You can't work on any of your own outside projects.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're an extension of the company, and they want to keep everything niche. Like
outside hours though, like Saturday, Sundays.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think it's right, but I'm saying that's why they do it. Is because they want to keep everything like controlled.
Yeah.
Nothing that's basically companies like that. Well, can you name me one maybe like that you think I might know? No? Google definitely has that.
I mean, yeah, Google definitely has NDAs. All the big companies have NDAs. But I'm just saying like
some banks have it to give you an answer. Yeah. Some Home Depots have it too.
Like all I'm saying is like some of them could be a little too limiting. I understand the intention of it. But when you read the fine print and you look at the legality of it, like they pretty much control some documents will purport to say they control all activity outside of work, basically.
Wow.
So it's like you they don't even want you to start.
It's like sell your soul right now to us.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Yeah.
Can you quit?
I mean, you could quit, and then there's
rights back.
You get your rights back, but not right away. After a couple years.
Fuck wants to work for a company like that. Holy fuck.
Well, yeah, you got to be careful what you sign. Yeah, that's smart. My suggestion to everyone is if you are in the position of an NDA, just don't scroll. Take the time to read through what you're, understand what you're signing.
Anything over $40, scroll and just hit yes. No, I'm bugging with you. Definitely read, bro. Definitely read. That's like I'm obviously being stupid, but absolutely. If you want to know what the fuck you're signing, always tell yourself this: if something sounds too good to be true, not to be negative, it might be too good to be true, or there is some catch to it. So if you have that gut feeling, just ask yourself, all right, if I tell them I'm willing to accept a job, but I need time to read your disclosures, and they give you a hard time, that job's not for you.
I agree. Yeah, if they like rush you, that's a bad sign. That's red flag 101.
Yeah, like the HR company's there to make sure that they're doing right by you and the company, but most of the time, if they're getting paid by the company, they don't give two fucks about you.
Yeah.
The truth is, they don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when
That's
it comes
true.
down to it.
Yeah.
Unless they hate their job. But even at that point, they're still supposed to benefit their job.
Yeah, I mean, their goal is to just look out for the company at your expense.
Correct.
But no, I mean, there's. I'm not trying to make a evil case or anything. No, there's good reason for that. But you had a interesting follow-up question, I think, right? With the devil agenda, was that? Or you want to jump back to that? Or
well, it was kind of the same thing that we kind of answered before. Well, I was gonna mention that there've been rumors since the news is coming out that there's a lot of videos on the internet, like I mentioned before, of P. Diddy being in an uncomfortable situation, Justin Bieber. They're saying that Usher signed Bieber. And because P. Diddy groomed Usher, Usher might have been moving in the same direction, maybe. Because he signed Bieber and Bieber blew up on YouTube. The only reason I know is because of my nieces. And the reason I'm saying this is a video, and I'll show you guys it later. But there's a video of P. Diddy being with Justin Bieber, basically kind of saying the same thing that Usher exposed P. Diddy about. So he's like, yeah, Bieber's staying over at my house for 48 hours. We're going to be hanging out. I'm going to show him how this industry works. I can just, as it was never right. It never sat right with me when it first came out when I was young. It definitely doesn't even fucking sit right with me now. And especially with all this shit coming out now about him, it definitely makes me feel like poor Justin Bieber was groomed in that horrible industry. And you notice too, like when I don't remember, you remember when he had that rebellious stage, he was just being fucking stupid, and fucking doing dumbass shit all over the world.
Yeah.
What do you think people like that do that get fucking scarred by this horrible industry?
Yo, that's actually a good point. Like all these pop stars that end up having a weird phase after, maybe it's caused by the trauma that they endure from the hazing. The hazing.
The industry.
And I mean, and that's no lie there's been many reports of that being exposed,
being a thing, right?
And now this is coming out. I mean, I want to see how far this goes. Now I'm interested to follow this a little bit more, because this is very deep. Holy crap!
That's my For You page right now.
Wow.
P. Diddy. There's fucking so much shit.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Facts. This is a No Diddy podcast. But we'll move right on to it. It's a good thing that you said that. And the next topic we have is quiet on set, and how you said how a lot of these people go through these traumatic, like big traumas that they have to act out. And yo, bro, Nickelodeon will never be the same after watching this documentary. I don't know if you guys said you didn't watch it.
I haven't watched it yet, no.
Bro, it is so fucking. It's confirmed all the rumors that there's been about how the media works, especially with these it's sad to say, but with these kids on these fucking children's sets. So the quiet on set basically starts out with them shitting on this guy named Dan Schneider, which he's the producer of a bunch of big hits in Nickelodeon. We're talking shows like The Amanda Bynes Show, Drake and Josh, iCarly.
Wow.
There's
Sam and Cat.
Victorious. There's another one with the Spear sister, or what's her name?
Zoe 101.
Zoe 101. And they never really confirmed to you at all within the series that Dan Schneider is a predator, but he's a horrible boss to work with that made a lot of things uncomfortable for people on the set, employees and both casts. Now, to give everyone a full summary, not everyone felt this way. One person that actually doesn't ever bad talk him in this series is Drake Bell, which you all know is from Drake and Josh. Drake. His story on this set is actually very sad. It's very upsetting. There was, in Nickelodeon 2003, there was an arrest made to this guy that worked on the set. His name was Brian Peck. He was being accused of basically molesting a kid, of doing horrible things. If you read the affidavit, I'm not even going to name them. Basically, anything you think could happen horribly to a kid by a predator, this guy did to this kid. At that time, no one knew who the kid was. No one actually ever. Maybe there were rumors that it was going to be this person, but when they show him walk into the set and you see Drake, you're like, why the fuck is Drake walking really slow to the set? And he basically just sits down and he goes, "Yeah, I'm the kid on that legal document. I'm the kid that he did all that stuff to." And basically, he tells you what happened. So, quick summary: Drake and his dad Drake always had an ambition to be an actor. His dad was all up for it. He won custody of his son. That's how much of a good dad this guy was, and how it probably, I'm not to shit on his mom, but you'll probably hate his mom after I tell you everything about this. But he won the custody. That says something right there, right? Like, maybe we don't have to say she's a horrible mom, but how much of a great dad this guy is for the court to give him ownership to his pops. So as a kid, he tries to be an actor. His dad's all for it, supporting him. And he makes it to, he makes it in a couple shows, commercials, movies, and then he finally makes it to Nickelodeon. And in this whole time, Drake's dad's always on the set, being his manager and aka his dad, making sure he's never in any kind of harm, making sure they don't abuse child labor laws, because they're, parents are all aware of this. And what basically ends up happening is this guy Brian Peck becomes Drake's teacher, to teach him how to act better, his coach, his mentor, because this guy has had reputations working with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I think
Leonardo and a lot of other famous people. I think also another person that he worked with, if I'm not mistaken, is the guy that's married to J-Lo now. Who's Batman now in the DC comics?
In the I don't follow it like that.
Oh my god, fuck's his name? He's on the Dunkin' commercials. He just came out with the Dunkin' commercial in the Super Bowl. Who's she dating right now?
Who the fuck is that?
Back and forth.
Whatever.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll find it.
Yeah, she's also rumored Brian Peck that'll work with him. And at the end of the day, Drake's dad always had a weird suspicion of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting too close to his son, so he didn't like it. Kept telling him, "Yo, Brian, chill out. Yo, Brian, don't do this. Yo, Brian, you're not going to see him alone."
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Brian, you're not going to be studying with him alone. So then what ends up happening, Brian Peck, like a predator he is, he starts whispering in Drake's ear anytime he gets a chance. Like, your dad's going to be the fall of your rise. Like, he's horrible manager. A manager doesn't do this. A manager doesn't prevent you from growing, and he's literally stunting your growth. So what is a kid going to do? He's going to listen to the guy that's been in the business forever. Falls for the trap. Tells his mom, basically, when he was sleeping over his mom's house one of these days, tells his mom that I no longer want to live with dad. No longer want dad to be my manager. Blah blah blah.
Wow.
So mom calls the dad and tells him all that, and he's like, "I'm fine with it as long as Drake tells me." Drake tells him everything that he wished for. His dad being a good dad, thinking he's being a good dad, quits as a manager, gives that role to his mom. All the bank accounts, everything, hands right over to the mom. Custody, even gives it to the mom. So now, this is where it happens. Drake is basically where the mom lives. To get to the set, it's like a 2-hour drive. The mom hates driving, so Brian offers to pick up Drake.
Oh boy.
And take him to the studio. And then somehow Brian convinces mom that it doesn't make sense, since when the set ran late, it makes more sense for Drake just to sleep over his house, because driving back 2 hours just to drive back another 2 hours to go back another 2 hours doesn't make sense. I'll just drop him off at the end of the week. Mom says, okay. This is where he starts grooming him, and basically one day he just wakes up to Brian fucking penetrating this poor kid. And after he's done, he basically apologizes, gives Drake whatever he wants, and says, "Don't ever speak of this again. I'm sorry. This will never happen again." And it's been going on for a while. I'm just gonna go skip right to the part where someone finds out, an adult finds out. The adult only found out because Drake finally had a girlfriend, and in this, he's hanging out with his girlfriend at their house. Mom's there, and Drake's phone is fucking blowing up nonstop. So Drake finally decides to answer. He goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "We were supposed to hang out today. We had plans." This is Brian on the phone. And Drake's like, "Sorry, man. I'm here with my girlfriend. I'm not, I'm sorry, but I must have forgot. I'm not going to hang out with you." hangs up. Calls him. Drake's ignoring the phone calls. This guy starts calling the house of where his girlfriend lives. Mom starts finding this weird and picks up, gives Drake the phone. Drake says the same thing, hangs up, and then he continues calling the phone again. So then the mom pulls Drake. She's like, Drake, can you help me in the kitchen really quick? Drake goes in the kitchen and she goes, what's going on? Tell me the truth. And Drake's like, no, nothing. Brian's just a little weird. You know, he likes to hang out a lot. And he's really upset that I didn't get to go. She's like, no. No 40-year-old man gets this upset that a 15-year-old, or I think he was 16 at the time, doesn't hang out with them. Tell me what's fucking going on, and you're gonna go you're gonna go to my therapist tomorrow. And that's how they end up finding out. And the whole fucking secret comes out. Drake tells his mom, and I think it was going on for like months that he was doing this to this poor kid. And the only reason that like this is exposed more is because Schneider is a piece of shit too. Like, Schneider was weird because he was getting like massages from his employees. He was getting massages from the kids sometimes while he was producing the show. He would say a lot of like very degrading sexual jokes to only the two women that worked for him. And he made those two ladies share a salary. Even though at the end he goes and defends himself and says that he's not on that TV set, but he ends up doing another YouTube thing trying to defend himself. It's crazy though. It just shows you how horrible, like, this whole, even in fucking young Hollywood, I guess you can call it, you see these patterns of fucking disgusting acts, and God knows what's happening. If that's happening in young, not even Hollywood, because of young acting, what do you think's fucking happening in the real world acting?
Yeah. It definitely stems from that. Yeah, so I watched my first glimpse of the Quiet on Set thing was the Drake video on TikTok, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Then I found out that they released the HBO Quiet on Set series. Still haven't watched it though, but I kept scrolling after that, and I found like more videos about like Amanda Bynes and The Victorious, iCarly, like the one. I didn't see anything on like the Zoe 101 thing yet.
They didn't have too much on it. A lot of the cast members didn't show up. Like, they're criticizing Josh for not showing up to a lot, and they're kind of not confirming, but they're rumoring that he took hush money from Dan Schneider. That's just not to shit on him. Dan Schneider's not really ever like pushed to be a predator, but
he allowed it happening under his watch.
No, they didn't even blame him for that. He was just a horrible dickhead boss, very degrading, very hard to work with, and very selective with which kids he worked and which kids he preferred. And that's the only thing the most thing they say is that Dan spent a lot of time with Amanda in times where they couldn't even find Dan and Amanda in a lot of the scenes. Which that brings a picture like that could be weird. But the only reason why I find some realness to it is because if you look at that poor girl now, have you seen how Amanda looks?
Yeah, she looks
like a crackhead. I mean, granted, her parents also emancipated her.
She emancipated from her parents?
She was trying to. It did not work out in her favor. And she's been in that weird...
Like limbo state?
No, she's been in that... You know, what happens when the parents kind of claim that you're crazy, so they they basically control your life, even when you're older?
Really?
It happened to Britney Spears. What's that shit called? I know it's emancipated if you want to leave your parents, but your parents have something to do with you if they want to claim you.
It's not power of attorney.
No, it's something stronger than that. They control all your financing. You can't, basically, if you don't have your money, you can't do anything. So they have the ownership of her money. I don't know what the word was, though.
I'm trying to think of it.
It's just full custody of Amanda. Whatever happened to Britney Spears, I think Britney's still in that custody thing. But whatever happened to Amanda, they had that for the majority of her life. I think just recently, the last year or two, she just got her freedom back.
That's crazy.
But she looks like sick in the head.
There was about like the Amanda Bynes thing. There was a rumor, I guess. I don't know if it was confirmed that she got pregnant. I don't know if it was by Dan Schneider or someone else, and they forced her to abort the baby.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And then on the Amanda show itself, they did a skit where I think it's Dan Schneider that comes out with like those coolers, and it's like, oh, let's give ice cream to like this. Oh, he's like, Amanda, would you like ice cream? And she's like, um, sure, but can everyone else in the audience have ice cream? Do you guys want ice cream? And like the sound goes off, it's like, yeah, we want ice cream. Opens up the cooler and it's a baby doll,
Oh, it's fucked up.
and hands it to her. And then that was the end of the video. I'm like,
I guess like showcasing like she just got an aborted.
but like because she was forced to abort the baby and she didn't want to.
To like tease her, like or
yes,
torture her.
Just said that Dan Schneider before he's like, oh, do you want ice cream? Your stomach is looking a little empty. That's what he said in the on skit for the show itself. And then it's like, oh, I have ice cream. And then pulls out a baby from like a cooler, like a baby doll, and hands it to her.
Well, thank you for reminding me. Now you brought back a lot of the things that I got from that show, but it's a conservatorship.
Conservatorship.
That's when they own like the full control of your financing.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, so they owned her for a while, and she just got.
How old is Amanda Bynes now?
She's like in her late 30s. Cause she was like
she was in her teenage years.
She was like 11 in like early 2000s.
Okay, yeah. So she's probably in her late 30s.
But yeah, man, what you just mentioned too reminded me of what they said. So he would say there was a lot of inappropriate stuff being directed and produced in Nickelodeon. So there's a lot of foot fetish shit that gets showed in Nickelodeon. Like there's a scene where Ariana Grande is like biting her toes and she's showing it all on camera. There's a scene where Ariana Grande is pouring water all over her chest, but on her bed backwards, so it looks like she's getting cummed on. There's a scene on Zoe 101 where there's literally a joke, and when it got cut, everyone heard that Dan Schneider said, yes, the cum shot came out good. Where it literally, it's supposed to be squeezing like a mayo bottle, I think it was mayonnaise or something, and they squeeze it as a joke, and it splats all over her face, but it looks like a cum shot. Yeah, and there's a scene where she's holding a potato and she's giving it a fucking hand job, and she's like, please, I need the potato juice.
Yeah.
Pause on all that, by the way.
I'm watching it here in the camera, and I'm like,
pause on all that, bro. Pause on all that, because I'm describing what they made that poor girl do. But yeah, these are all shits you can find, bro. And that Brian Peck dude, for doing that shit to Drake, bro, piece of fucking garbage, only got to serve 16 months in jail, was given letters of recommendations. He made famous people. The only ones that got exposed, I don't remember the names on top of my head, but people wrote letters to the judge saying Brian Peck was an outstanding human being and he should be given a second chance, even though they knew that what he did to Drake. And he got 16 months of jail, came out, and then went to work for Disney. He went to work on one of the shows that you all fucking know. Sweet Life and Zack and Cody.
Oh, is something out with them now, or?
No, but they're saying there's going to be a Disney shit that comes out soon.
I can only imagine.
Quiet Send's actually not over. It's 5 episodes. No, it's 4 episodes, and episode 5, the second part's coming out in April. So it's fucking gross, my guy.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, the Ariana stuff that you're talking about, there was like a clip of like bloopers. I guess they were bloopers because I don't think I've ever seen those on TV. But like the laying back
the foot one
was
down,
the foot one was, yes, but like the potato one, the
water one was the water one never got made into the TV, but the potato one did, I think.
Did it?
Like the kid, I don't know what's his name is.
Because I fit my whole foot in my mouth, but like as a peanut, like it was just like, but foot fetish, but also I'm like, oh, I can't fit this in my mouth. They're like, it was weird. It was weird shit.
Like for children, bro.
Yeah. But that's
this
the
is
thing. Like
crazy.
He's portraying like minor girls, and to do these weird sexual innuendos, just even if they're not gonna make it to TV, just to do it for his pleasure while they're on set.
It's a kid's show. I don't understand if it was like a fucking adult show and you want to be funny. these are kids. Like we were innocent kids watching it, so we didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But there's the fact that there's an undertone, and for people later on, like ourselves, rewatching the shows, I guess they didn't expect us to watch this shit all over again. But they're, we're the first generation to kind of still be kid-like minded as we get older. Like we still stick to our past where we find like comfort in watching old shows. Like I'll still fucking
yeah.
I still watch fucking sometimes when I'm really bored. I'll be throwing on Pokemon on Netflix for no fucking reason, bro. That's my shit. But I tell you that if my dad was watching a kid show when he was like 12, I don't think my dad's personality at 30 would ever make him watch Pokemon ever again.
Yeah.
But you don't get what I'm saying? I feel like they didn't think we were going to be that generation to look back.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's my theory of why they thought they were never going to get caught or something like that.
Something of like to add to that. I feel like we are the generation to do that. For one reason only is because we see like, I'm obviously kids growing up into adults over the generations like realize like how how difficult being an adult is, and like but also wanted to be adults so fast that they kind of they became adults stuff. But like I feel for like our generation, we are seeing like how the times are getting now, and we're like, man, I wish it was like when it was when I was a kid. Like I wish the times were as we are now adults, but you kind of like stick to that because you go back to that happier time.
Well, Anthony said this so good last time too. Pause. That was big pause. But Anthony said it so good. We're the first generation to be introduced, live, and experience with technology, where we can get everything in a capture of seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you quoted me good this time.
AJ.
Yo, I want to give a synopsis of what I think about all this because there's a lot of common themes here. Child predators is one of them. This is what happens, and this is not to like push strictly a God agenda, but this is what happens when you have, in essence, a godless society. When you don't default to a higher order morality, which is what I guess, if you abstract away what religion is doing, where you don't put yourself first, you put a God before you, and that you have to follow certain morality to adhere to it. If you don't have that, the God is you. You become the God. And if you worship yourself and you worship everything, exactly. that you want, like, then there's no limit to your craziness.
There's no wrong to it.
I haven't articulated these points very well, but I've been thinking about this kind of stuff for lately. There's a lot of good podcasts. George Janko talks a lot about this.
Just make sure it's directional, not like Travis.
No, it should be good. Oh, that's how it was?
You're like right here.
Oh, shit.
Travis
okay.
was neck talking.
Yeah, I should be more aware, bro. I should be more aware. No, I think it's something that we have to be careful with. We have to really start looking at, what's our morality, and do we want to actually like divulge into this fucking craziness? Like, bro, shit that we're looking.
The spotlight's on you, bro. Say what you gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's fucking nuts. Like, this is all a result, I think, of a devil agenda. Like when you just when you worship like that type of behavior.
I think so too. I think you're 100% correct, man. Like I said, I am not fucking the fucking religious boy, because I told you already. I've said it time and time again. Yeah. I have a relationship with God, but I am not the perfect child, man. Yeah. But I've started to realize that exactly what Anthony said. When you're the highest role in your head, you can do no wrong because I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad motherfucker. What I say is what goes. But bro, that's a horrible guidance, because you could break your imaginary boundary that you set for yourself, but you set it.
Yeah.
No one said it for you. There is no respect because you've never given yourself anyone to look up to.
There's no limit to your corruptness.
Exactly.
Right? And That's why that. So let's say you don't even believe in God. You need something to look up to that's not you.
Yeah.
So that you don't default to. Because if you are the center of all your power, then there's no limit to your corruption.
And there's no humble. Like there's no humble.
Correct.
Can't be humble.
That's why a lot in a lot of stories, biblical stories, and other religious texts are are speaking in terms of a servant like behavior, as opposed to my behavior. Like it's not an I, but a serve. Correct. If you read into it a little bit more,
there's a famous story that George Jankos says in his podcast that I want to definitely mention really quick. I'm gonna butcher it a little bit, but
we all do.
Yeah, I don't know the Bible reference that he mentions. Maybe you guys might be able to help me here. But he mentions a story where he tells a guy to get off the boat and walk on the water because God's telling him he appears in the middle of a horrible storm in the middle of the ocean. And God says, "Look at me and walk towards me. Have faith." And the guy's like nervous. He's getting off the boat and he's really scared to get into the ocean and walk in the middle of the water. But he does it. And he starts to realize he's walking on water. And God's like, focus only on me and nothing else, and I promise you, you'll get to me. He starts noticing that it's getting a little crazier in the storm, so he diverts his vision just to make sure he's not going to fall and taking the right step. And the moment he does that, he falls, and God lifts him back up. And he says, I told you, as long as you look at me and your path is towards me, I will never fail you. But if you diverge your vision somewhere else in your path, or break your doubt your faith, then you'll lose your way. And it's so beautiful. He definitely said it a lot better than me. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy how that makes sense.
How applicable
even if it doesn't need to be in a God sense.
Yeah.
If you have a path, why would you divert from it or not believe that you're going to get there? The moment you do that is where you fail. Doubt is a fucking killer because the person doubting it is outside exteriors and you're starting to believe it. You know, and there's doubt everywhere, bro. Like if I tell Mike right now, I'm going to go make $1 million. Mike can be like, Mike already is going to laugh at me. But as long as I believe that I can do it and I will do no matter what it takes, then that will always be a possibility for me.
Yeah.
You have to believe in it for it to be a possibility.
Yeah. No one else is going to believe in it for you.
Yeah. That's a great point that you made. I get what you're saying. It's hard to quote because he gives specific Bible verses.
Yeah, man, he gives it fire. That's why I like listening to George's thing.
Yeah, I respect it a lot. I just think it's a central theme as an antidote to all this shitty behavior because, man, this is as bad as it gets in the industry. Like when you talk about manipulating children and all this craziness. So I always think like, what's the antidote to all this bad behavior? And I always default to religion. Not myself. Yeah. Anything higher. If I'm not even going to quote religion, just to make a case for it, don't worship yourself. Like, because everyone is subject to corruption. And if you are the absolute arbiter and if you are at the top of your hierarchy, then you have full corruption at your fingertips.
Who's the actor from Interstellar? What's his name again? Matt. I can always butcher his last. No. I always butcher his last name. McConaughey.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You guys ever heard his speech when he won that fucking award? And he said, "My greatest hero is the 10 years, the meme 10 years later."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that's a good way of saying it, not religiously. Like your goal should always be something that you're never gonna reach because it makes the most sense. That is a way you always stay humble, grateful, and always continue to work harder
and to aim high.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. I believe you 100%. I think religion needs to come back. And you know what's funny? I hate to be too religious here, but I'm seeing God's warriors, bro. I'm seeing them more and more every day, bro. It's beautiful because, oh man, I'm getting goosebumps. It's beautiful because it's a change. I'm seeing people wake the fuck up,
and they're telling the truth.
Yeah,
the actual truth, not the bullshit, not the things that gets clicks. The real essence of life.
Yeah,
fucking run through their veins.
Yeah.
I think we're just getting tired of it, man. We're tired of this corrupt system being fucking keeping us quiet. Like, why are we quiet? Why is it that when we preach good stuff, oh, fuck out of here, you shouldn't bring that religious talk around here? Fuck you. You're bringing some stupid ass conversation here.
Well, they're bringing religion too. They're bringing up the devil. That's religion. That's the thing. No one wants to talk about, but that is absolutely the same as believing God. If you believe in the devil, you also believe in God. You cannot have light with. You cannot have darkness without light. And the opposite.
Light, there will be shadows.
Yes, like it's an absolute duality that is inevitable. You need it. If you believe in one, you have to believe in the other. But anyways, to go back to. All right, I lost my train of thought. Another time, man. My head is spinning.
The podcast was good, bro.
Yeah. This is good. Yo, Puka brought notes, man.
Says no Diddy. But no, man, it was a great episode. We ended it on the right note, I think, with God. Do you have anything that you want to add to it?
No, I think you guys said it pretty well. Like, wherever there's like, you need to have a grounding. There has to be something that you hold on to that keeps you grounded, humbled. Worshipping yourself and respecting yourself are two different things.
Yeah.
You can respect yourself to where you are what, you think, not what you think society should see you as, but like what you think you should see yourself as. But that line gets blurred when fame and fortune get in the way.
Now, that touche that you said to that, you just made me remember. I forgot who the fuck I was talking to, but they said to me, yo, you don't look at yourself highly? And I said, I do. But I don't worship myself because I truly believe every human can achieve the same thing, can achieve whatever they want, which is why I don't worship myself, because I don't think I'm better than the next person at all. Because I know if I really wanted to, if I focused, if we all lived equal lives and we all had a same goal, I think we all could achieve it.
That's a good point. I also think, to add on to that, is let's say you're dealt certain cards in life and you can't achieve everything you want. Achieving more than what you have been dealt is a much better and noble aim than just seeing the cards that you're dealt and do nothing about it. Because not everyone can achieve like everything, because, it might take time to build wealth. Let's say, for example, if you're talking about wealth, but, like you can be rich in so many areas other than wealth. Like, obviously, like the richest people are not rich in money. They're rich in character. They're rich in relationships. They're rich in the non-tangible things that we all seem to forget about, that are the most important thing. They're what brings color to life. Like, you could think about it as having black and white vision if you just have money. But color is the relationships, the people that you bring in your life, all of the extra things that actually makes life worth living.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think 50 said it so good once in an interview. I love 50 Cent, bro. He's a savage.
Shout out to 50 Cent.
50 Cent's also the one exposing P. Diddy OD. Every Instagram post in the last 2 weeks on 50's fucking Instagram is P. Diddy shit. Saying, yo, got him. Can't wait for this docuseries, the P. Diddler, to come out.
The P. Diddler.
Like the Tinder Swift looks.
50 Cent's a savage. I love that guy.
Savage.
But he said it really good in an interview once. He said, he's like, the day I noticed that I wasn't happy is when I saw a poor man smile more than me. Because he's like, a poor man knows more about happiness than I do currently in my state. And I was like, holy fuck.
That's proof right there. That's proof. That should be enough for anyone to be like, I could change my circumstances right now.
That poor man is just happy to be alive and breathing.
Yeah, like that's it.
Simple.
Exactly.
Not looking at anything else.
Simple.
He doesn't have the millions that 50 does, but he doesn't give a fuck because he's happy, smiling. Then you look at 50, he's all pissed off half the time, worrying about where he's getting the next check from, working on the next project. Never stops. They always expect more from you. When you're in that high statue of celebrity, the public is expecting something from you, wants something from you. Even when you give it to them, they criticize you. Even when you do something right, someone else thinks you did something wrong or not as good as you did it in the like in case of his in sense of his music, in terms of his music, his first album was record breaking, best album, still one of my favorite top 3 albums I've ever listened to, and even I say it, 50 has never touched a song or an album that has beaten Get Rich or Die Trying, in my opinion. And he's right. People see it like that. No, he's like, that album was so good. I was afraid that I was never going to match it. And in people's eyes, I never did. But he's like, I can't think like that. In my vision, I became something bigger. And he's not lying. He's made power. He's a producer. He's a writer. He wrote his book, which I recommend you guys listen to. It's really, really good. It has nothing to do with gangsta shit. Well, it does a little bit, but it's really good. And in his pursuance of how he became this business like entrepreneur that he is now. It's like crazy to know that this guy came from becoming a drug dealer to one of like top 100 Forbes dudes.
What's the name of the book?
Hustle Smarter, Not Harder. Something like that.
All right, that's to do for me.
Audiobook, and he reads it, so he laughs how he laughs, like it's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so shout out to Audible when I brought that up, and
yeah, he did. That's my first audiobook.
There you go. So hey, we got Puka listening to audiobooks.
That's it. But other than that, man, stay safe, stay away from the devil, and I gotta take a shit. That's all right.
Peace out, guys.